their dragon control, you should assume that it's weaker than Sandbox's, and so that it's not even like they can get bailed out by getting. So you have to wonder what exactly is going to go on, what's going to transpire. Darwin was obviously in close proximity.
Oh boy, here we go. Already Lonely is being bullied up here. They're going to land the Arctic Charge here. Is it going to be the flash? Yes.
You have the Sejuani. It's assumed that she's going to be slower and less functional early on than the Jarvan. The Azir in mid lane, he's always going to have that top lane matchup where Keen is putting on a clinic. We might have a trade here.
Okay, yeah, getting in here, but Gorilla is going to be joining this one to make it a 3-on-2. They're trying to collapse onto Aatrox, but they need to be the ones that are running as Dread is going to turn around. But there we go. Pantheon now trying to come on in, as they're really trying to force this fight. Pantheon going to get exhausted, and so really needs to run away. Puts his E up for the block. Has to flash as Keen.
As now Keen gets yet another turret plate, and he's where they're really finding a lot of success. About a 1,300 gold lead. Serrated Dirk, and he wants to get the Black Cleaver, not just for himself, but Lucian and Set. And hold on, we might have a dive.
Punch just went back home. Lonely. He's so lonely. He's all by himself. He's trying to go 1v3. But, you know, honestly, he's doing a really good job so far. But he is going to get stunned up. I think this is pretty inevitable. He tries to trade against Keen, but
latch on to one of them and try to retreat inside of the lane in case something would end up being a little Sandbox off of a turret. And with the Azir's wave clear and MF's wave clear, things get scary. Now Keen still trying to dive Lonely up here. And
okay, looks like he was able to get away from that one. The skirmishes all over the map. Double exhaust does come out, as you mentioned. Gorilla's going to eat the whole culling as the flash just barely not going to have the angle to finish him off. And now we have a big rotation coming in from Sandbox. Mystic and Jelly in a lot of trouble here. No flash and no way to get out of that one. Jelly is going to abandon the ship and says, I've had enough. Has joined the fight, but he's kind of being zoned by the Scuttle Crab, and now we got the Pantheon in a really awkward spot. He's just going to get dunked, and he's going to bait Keen in there as well, who immediately just superplexes into the back line just to die. So
collapsing onto the opponents, dealing as much damage in a burst situation, sitting duck. And when that happens, with all the resistances getting stacked up, I mean, we have a kill happening here in mid,
yeah, he is gonna get burst down, but
it's a 1-for-1.
Yeah,
and this is
Keen trying to split push a little bit. He's got Dread nearby, but doing exactly the same thing.
Trying to do anything, and remember, this is what we talked about in regards to the Herald.
Go ahead, you can play-by-play this.
Go ahead. I mean, you're the WoW guy.
No,
you need to scream. Not. You're the play-by-play, Valdez. I need you to say Leroy Jenkins.
I'd rather not.
You'd rather?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna not play that right now.
Now look at everything that Keen is achieving by endlessly pushing in the side waves here. He manages to be super overextended, gonna actually superplex underneath the turret and gift over a kill.
Some players just like going down, just like solo queue-esque.
So massive right now. 2 core items also completed for Lonely on the Aatrox, and you just look at the items on all the champions, and it favors Sandbox so much.
Keen going on in there, trying to burst down Punch. They nearly get him, and Dove is going to live with a flash away, but Punch will be the first casualty here. Dove zoned out, but it doesn't matter because down on the bottom side, Root is going to pick up a double kill. Afreeca heavily losing this fight up against Root. Keen not able to carry it by himself in the back line. Trying to snipe down Dove, but stopwatch, pretty good item for both of these guys, and that is going to be the big team fight win for Sandbox, as they should pick up this Mountain Soul.
Yeah, they managed to get it, and that is going to be... Wasn't able to do anything. This was sort of like a 5 versus 4 to an extent, but look at the durability on the side of it.
You remember that movie?
Yeah, Happy Death Day, where the girl keeps dying?
Yeah, it's kind of like we're watching that movie over and over. You know what I mean? Like, the team that does not have the scaling advantage is pushing lanes into the scaling team, into the Azir. But if you're going to do that,
and again,
you need to set up engages. You need to be able to set up what your comp is good at.
Right, and you don't do that by just mindlessly doing the same things over and over, expecting a different result. They constantly kept pushing side lanes. They never utilized the mid-game Grand Skyfall. They could never break the mid-tier 1 turret. They are now Leroying in mid lane.
Yeah, and it's not going to go very well. Not much to say about this one. Keen desperately trying, but it's too little, too late. They could have set up plays like this had they actually set it up in the mid game, but they decided not to. Just gonna push down mid lane here. Sandbox 16-4 is going to be the kill score here. And they will dominate Afreeca in game number 1. Nexus going to go down, as even without Summit, even with Keen winning the top lane, it did not matter. Sandbox.
There's not really a very big purpose. She is locked in. Very bizarre. Would be a fantastic counter gank if it would end up working. Oh man.
Oh, I think it is going to work. Oh, they're going for a dive, actually. They should be able to pick up this kill, but now Spirit should be able to get Moonly down. Let's see, though. Goes for the flag and drag, picks up the kill. Oh, and that's perfect timing, as you mentioned. He's going to be able to push that one out. Spirit is not here because he's taking the...
rather than just aimlessly recalling. And you can see that Afreeca acknowledges that Sandbox is not...
Okay, it's just going to go the way of Fly, and actually the jungler is engaged from the right side as this Rumble is dead. Just immediately, just like that, a huge collapse. Coming in and a big interrupt there from the side of Sandbox. That's going to make it 2 kills now. As yes, they...
And if everything just keeps going and coasting at the rate that it is right now, all that's going to happen is very similar.
At all.
No.
Even if they're on Cloud Soul Point, it's like, okay, sure, we can get other objectives, but I feel like Sandbox is just saying, as Lucian will get some solo farm up there. You notice that Jelly not going to steal. I would get the game too, but yeah, I don't have a Switch. Just, I didn't go out and buy a Switch after the game, where, you know, we had a relatively early game, very slow early game with a couple kills.
Oh man, he's at 50%.
Yeah. And you mentioned how Zoe, okay, it's going to go the way of Sejuani. The Cataclysm into Flash play is going to be the play here for Spirit.
Punched it so good he stole it twice.
Nicely done getting into that back line. Now they burst down Kane. He's immediately going to go down. Nice knockup by Jelly. He's going to find 4 of them. Can they actually get into this one? The Azir, though, into the back line, and Mystic, not having enough room, is going to put that culling out, but he doesn't have enough room to just go front to back here, although we did have Zoe finally snipe out the Braum as a flash forward there. Not going to amount to much. The shield's coming in onto Mystic. It's just like you get a Braum in the front and immediately he gets exhausted. And then it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to have to hold that thought as Keen is going to get caught out here once again. He's burning down Root. He's doing a good job there, but he's still caught. So down he will go. 5 on 4 now. Nope. I mean, there is the Baron, but Sandbox are on the wrong side. You can see them trying to rotate up to the mid lane. But I don't think they're going to rush a Baron or anything at this point anyway.
And, well, we'll see what can go on here. As Sandbox are sieging the mid-tier 1 turret, Afreeca don't really have clear options. They have to just wait for Zoe Bubbles and Paddle Stars to try to carry them
After
through.
a mistake, Sandbox is taking advantage of that. The Trouble Bubble gonna...
But when he has the blue buff, he's going to be at max CDR. And this is really scary. Set guys for 100 gold more, but if you need as much power as you can possibly pack for this final team fight around this Dragon Soul have going for him. Now, actually, are we going to have a potential front door? I mean, obviously, they don't have the speed to raise the Nexus turrets as well, but they're walking right up mid lane. They're going to raise this mid-tier 3 turret, and I think they're going to get the inhibitor as well. Now, the inhibitor is a little bit scary, because
5 members of Afreeca look to engage, but Punch coming in from behind. They're trying to go in the front side here. Big equalizer into the backline. Dub. Oh, and a really perfect stopwatch as Keen is desperately trying to do it. It doesn't matter how well he plays because he's still going to get dominated at this point in the game. Down will go Jelly at the same time.
Different at so many stages of this game, but it's just so hard for Afreeca to find angles to the ocean. They're going to the ship mountains.
It all connects. As Equalizer is going to come down. It'll clear out 1, but it will not be available for the next fight. As they'll just push in with the Baron. As you mentioned, they're not going to wait for the Cloud. They're going to try to get as much value out of this Baron push. Sandbox, once again, they're playing very carefully. It feels like, to be honest, they've spent the last 15 days of LCK hiatus, and they've done exercises in how to slowly play games, because they were just so fast and loose before, that it definitely does look like a bit of a different Sandbox series against Afreeca.
It really does. They're coming out so strong here. They're now sieging the Nexus turrets. We might see one final last stand. This is the alternate ending to Helm's Deep, because I just don't see a way. There is no Gandalf coming over this mountain.
Okay, well, they get the combo down, and it just does not matter at this point. Even Gorilla, okay, well, he's going to go down. Dub going to just slap the two members that tried to get into that back line, as Keen, again, gonna get stunned up and smacked here by Lonely in the front. Not going to be able to save that damage onto Punch, as Fly is desperately trying to do something in this game, but is not going to be able to, as even the Trouble Bubble is going to miss. And down will go the Nexus, as Sandbox will take the 2-0.
They get the 2-0 win in what